Life on the road, it's never boring, is it?
Definitely not.
One day you're cruising, the next you're, blindsided by a major corporate merger, maybe an unexpected tax hike, or just some event that throws your whole day off, maybe even your long-term plans.
Yeah, it's a constant state of flux.
It really is a constant game of adapting, trying to stay ahead. Okay, let's unpack this.
And that's exactly what we're aiming to do today. We've sifted through, well, a whole stack of recent articles, some research, industry news, all picked specifically for you, the truck driver.
Right.
The goal really is to cut through all that noise, get down to what truly matters for your career, your wallet, your well-being in this industry that just keeps changing.
You got it. And we're going to look at these stories from, well, all angles. Just like Hervey over at Life as a Trucker always says, you got to see the whole picture.
That's the key.
To really understand the actual impact on your life, your money, your future. But it's not just about reacting, right? Yeah. We also want to explore some practical ways you can maybe build up some personal resilience, take more control of your own path.
Absolutely. Proactive, not just reactive.
Exactly. No matter what turns the road decides to take next.
All right, let's dive in. Let's set the stage first. We're seeing some pretty big industry movements right now, things that are really reshaping how freight moves and, maybe more importantly, how you earn.
Yeah, these aren't small tweaks either.
No, definitely not. We're talking shifts that could really redefine your daily runs, maybe even your whole business model if you're an owner-operator.
And one of the biggest stories making waves right now involves the railroads. You've got Union Pacific, UP, and Norfolk Southern, NS. They're pushing pretty hard for a strategic partnership.
Okay.
Their aim is to create this seamless coast-to-coast intermodal rail system.
Intermodal. Can you just quickly define that again? Sure. Yeah. Simply put, it's just cargo that moves using more than one type of transport. So think of those big shipping containers you see on a train flat car.
Right.
Which then get loaded onto a truck chassis for that final leg of the journey. Train and truck, basically.
Got it. Now, what's really interesting here, maybe even surprising, is that Knight-Swift, they're a trucking giant.
Huge.
They've publicly backed this rail plan. Why would a major trucking company get behind something that sounds like, well, more competition from the rails? What's their angle?
That's a really good question, and it shows you how complex this stuff gets. From Knight-Swift's perspective, they see this partnership as a way to seriously speed up coast-to-coast shipping.
Okay, speed.
Speed, yeah. And potentially more reliable scheduling, maybe better pricing efficiency. For them, it boils down to faster freight movement, maybe happier customers, and yes, ultimately, probably better margins for them.
Right.
They frame it as strengthening the whole freight ecosystem.
Okay, strengthening the ecosystem. But for the individual trucker listening right now, what are the real, boots on the ground consequences? Does faster rail automatically mean good news for your bottom line?
Not necessarily for everyone, and this is where it gets tricky, gets nuanced. If this merger, or partnership rather, goes through as planned, we could genuinely see fewer traditional long-haul loads available for OTR drivers.
Because the freight's moving more on rail.
Exactly. More of that long coast-to-coast stuff might shift to rail. Instead, you might see a pretty significant pivot towards more regional jobs, or what they call final mile delivery.
So rail yard to warehouse, that kind of thing.
Precisely. Moving freight from the rail yards to nearby warehouses, distribution centers. It could also mean job shifts, Some drivers might move from long haul into roles supporting the rail operations, maybe yard management.
Right.
For company drivers, this might mean, well, maybe more home time, which is a plus for some. But it could also mean lower pay per mile, potentially.
Yeah.
And for you owner-operators out there, you could really start feeling squeezed out of those traditional, often more lucrative long-haul lanes.
Yeah, it sounds like a classic case of, one person's opportunity is another's headache. We hear the Knight-Swift exec saying it strengthens the ecosystem.
Right.
But then you hear from an independent trucker down in Arizona who put it pretty bluntly, every time a rail company expands, we lose another lane. They keep saying it's good for us, it ain't.
Yeah, that's a common sentiment.
But then a regional fleet owner had a different take, saying, we'll pivot. More intermodal means more local work, but we'll need drivers willing to adapt.
Is there like a genuine middle ground here? Or is someone just going to lose out?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The common ground, technically, is efficiency for the overall supply chain. Faster, maybe cheaper movement of goods.
Okay.
But the cost of that efficiency, as we're hearing, often falls on individual drivers, smaller operators. they face the steepest climb when it comes to adapting.
So the real insight here, I think, is that proactive adaptation isn't just some corporate buzzword anymore. It's really becoming critical for survival. Diversifying your skills, maybe embracing regional work, intermodal support, finding specialized routes. That might be your best defense against these big market shifts.
Adapting. That seems to be the theme.
Yeah.
And speaking of things that might force adaptation, let's talk about Oregon. There was a vote that didn't happen there recently that could still send ripples, right?
That's right. Oregon postponed a vote on a pretty major transportation tax package. It was due to a senator having a health issue, so the vote didn't proceed.
Okay, so what was actually in this package? And why was trucking, as they say, smack in the middle of it?
Well, the full final details weren't public yet, but it was expected to be pretty comprehensive. We're talking likely fuel tax adjustments, increases on diesel, and probably gas, too. Significant infrastructure funding was part of it. And crucially for truckers, it likely included weight mile taxes. Taxes specifically targeting heavy commercial trucks. Plus, new fees for electric vehicles, EVs, to kind of make up for them not paying fuel taxes.
So yeah, trucking was definitely central to the funding plan.
Absolutely. The delay might feel like a breather, but that underlying need for infrastructure funding, it hasn't just vanished.
Right. And okay, maybe you don't run through Oregon much. Why should this delay matter to a driver in, say, Ohio or Florida? What's the bigger picture?
It matters because Oregon, historically, has often been a bit of a trendsetter in transportation policy.
Like a testing ground.
Kind of, yeah. Think about their early work on mileage-based road use fees, VMT taxes. Other states, especially on the West Coast like California or Washington, they watch what Oregon does very closely.
Oh.
So what happens or doesn't happen in Oregon can serve as a blueprint, or at least signal what legislative discussions might be coming down the pike elsewhere. And look, more taxes on trucks in any state directly mean higher operating costs for OTR drivers and owner-operators. It hits your bottom line, even if you're just passing through.
Yeah, that quote from the independent trucker, it just nails the frustration you hear everywhere, doesn't it? They say it's about roads, but I never see them get better. Just more tolls and more taxes.
It's a common feeling.
Meanwhile, you've got a state rep calling the package critical for Oregon's future, and then a local business owner just says, basically, yeah, we'll pass that cost straight to customers. It makes you wonder, are we just constantly chasing our tails on funding this stuff? Will we ever actually see the return on these tax hikes?
That's a really valid frustration, and it highlights that gap between, public perception and the actual massive cost of maintaining infrastructure.
Yeah.
But if we connect this back to the rail story, both the rail partnership and these potential tax hikes, they directly squeeze your operating costs. They influence the types of loads available. They ramp up the financial pressure on your business or your career. They're really two sides of the same coin, showing how the ground is shifting under drivers' tires. So the strategic takeaway: keeping an eye on local policy trends, even if it's not your home state, can give you an early warning. It helps you anticipate industry changes that will hit your wallet and maybe force route changes.
Makes sense. Okay, let's shift gears now. Let's talk tech. Technology on the road, it's growing fast. Let's start with something critical for everyone's safety. Driver distraction. How big a deal is this, really?
Oh, it's enormous. Tragically, it's a leading cause of preventable accidents. Distracted driving consistently ranks in the top 5 causes of fatal truck crashes.
Wow, top 5.
Yeah. And fleets, they are desperate for tech solutions that actually work. Solutions that keep drivers focused, but without, creating new headaches or, frankly, alienating their drivers.
Right.
Which is why this deal is interesting. A company called SaverOne just partnered with a real fleet, Fandango, to deploy their distraction prevention tech.
Okay, SaverOne. So what does their system actually do? And how does it manage that balance, keeping drivers safe without, pissing them off like some drivers worry about with monitoring tech?
Right. That's the key challenge. SaverOne's system is designed to be pretty smart about it. It essentially blocks access to certain smartphone apps while the truck is moving. Think the dangerous ones like social media, video streaming, texting.
Yeah.
But, and this is important, it's designed to still allow essential, safe apps to function. Things like your GPS navigation, emergency calls, maybe fleet communication apps. Those still work.
So it's selective blocking.
Exactly. And it works passively, meaning once a fleet installs it, it's just kind of on in the background. The idea is to be a guardian, not an annoying nag.
Yeah.
It aims to create an environment where the driver simply can't be tempted by the most dangerous apps, rather than just relying on willpower alone.
Interesting. And we're definitely seeing different reactions to this stuff. We heard from a safety-first company driver who said, basically, if it keeps me safe, I'm all for it. Nobody wants to die over a Snapchat streak.
Understandable perspective.
But then you have maybe the more old-school independent driver pushing back. I don't need a robot telling me not to touch my phone. I've been driving longer than these tech guys have been alive.
Also understandable.
And then the fleet owner's view. This could save lives and protect us legally. So where's the core insight here? How do we navigate this tension between safety tech and driver autonomy?
I think the key insight is that the industry is clearly moving towards proactive safety measures, heavily driven by technology.
Yeah.
While those concerns about privacy and autonomy are absolutely valid and need discussion, the rising costs of accidents, insurance, lawsuits, it means fleets are increasingly looking for tools that show tangible safety improvements. So for you, the driver, it probably means understanding that these technologies are becoming more standard. Adapting to operate safely and effectively within these new systems, even if it means a bit less phone time, could be really critical for your own safety and, honestly, your job security.
Adapting again.
Yeah.
Okay, sticking with tech. There's this company, maybe less known, Shift 5. They just raised a huge amount, $75 million, for something they call an operational intelligence platform.
Yeah.
That sounds intense.
It does sound very technical, yeah, like something out of science fiction, almost.
Right. So for the average trucker, just focused on getting the load from A to B safely and on time, what's the practical real-world benefit of this kind of high-tech platform? What does it actually do for you?
That's the crucial question. Let's break it down simply. Imagine having, like, a proactive health monitor and a bodyguard specifically for your truck's electronic brain.
Okay, I like that analogy.
This platform basically acts as real-time eyes and ears on your truck's entire electronic nervous system. That includes all the sensors, the electronic control units, the ECUs, which are like the truck's mini computers,
Right.
and the CAN buses, which are the internal networks connecting everything. It's constantly monitoring all that digital communication inside the truck.
So what's it looking for?
It's designed to do two main things: provide cybersecurity alerts, spotting potential hacks, tampering, unauthorized access, and also provide detailed data dashboards that can predict potential component failures or maintenance needs based on subtle electronic signals.
Okay, so preventing hacks, preventing breakdowns.
Yeah.
That sounds genuinely useful, especially as trucks become more like, well, rolling computers.
Exactly. That's the core issue. Your truck isn't just mechanical anymore. You've got telematics, ELDs, advanced driver assistance systems like automatic braking, lane assist. They're all connected.
Yeah.
This tech aims to stop digital vulnerabilities from becoming dangerous real-world problems. So for you, the driver, it could mean fewer unexpected breakdowns because it catches electronic glitches early. And maybe more importantly, protection against cyber threats that could potentially compromise your truck's safety systems or even steal data.
Makes sense. But the perspectives, again, are varied. Tech folks and fleet execs are excited, calling it the future of managing these complex vehicles.
Yeah.
But some veteran OTR drivers might be skeptical. Sounds like more tech to fix what wasn't broke.
Heard that before.
But then safety-conscious independents, they see the value. If it helps catch problems early, prevents breakdowns or hacks, they're saying, okay, I'm listening. So the key takeaway from all this complex tech talk.
The main takeaway is this: your truck is now as much a data hub as it is a diesel engine. Getting comfortable with its digital side, understanding basic cybersecurity risks, maybe leveraging some of these smart safety and diagnostic tools, it's becoming just as critical as knowing how to check your oil or tires.
Wow.
Embracing this shift, developing even a basic level of digital literacy about your rig, it's going to be pretty essential to stay competitive and safe.
So whether it's blocking distractions or guarding the truck's digital brain, tech is fundamentally changing the job. It's not just engine and wheels anymore. It's data, software, security.
It really is.
Okay, let's pivot now to some very practical, almost visceral concerns. Safety on the ground and financial security. Let's talk about incidents and responses that really hit home, things that affect your livelihood directly.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, we have a stark example. A man in Michigan was recently convicted for intentionally setting fire to multiple Swift transportation trailers over in Arizona.
Just awful.
Yeah. And this wasn't an accident, it was deliberate. A felony arson caused massive property damage and, frankly, risked lives. The official motive wasn't released, but you heard rumors, grudges, maybe some anti-corporate thing, who knows?
It's just infuriating to think about. But beyond Swift, how does an act like this, even if it seems isolated, impact every trucker out there? What are the ripple effects?
The ripple effects are significant, and they spread far beyond the company directly targeted. First off, you're going to see, and probably already are seeing, increased security measures everywhere.
Like more cameras, tighter gates.
Exactly. More surveillance, stricter procedures at yards, and drop lots across the industry. Fleets are forced to invest more in cameras, lighting, security tech. But here's a big one. It almost certainly leads to higher insurance premiums for everyone.
Even small fleets,
Yeah.
owner-operators.
Yes, because the overall perceived risk of arson, vandalism, major property damage, it goes up for the entire industry in the eyes of insurers. It also, sadly, erodes trust between drivers and companies, even with the public. And it makes life harder and potentially more expensive for owner-operators and smaller fleets who rely on shared or less secure lots sometimes. It's a breach of that sort of shared space, that community safety.
Man, it really is infuriating. You hear a fleet manager calling it terrifying, thinking about all the assets parked every night.
Understandably.
Then an independent driver, maybe no fan of mega carriers, still says, that's someone's load, someone's truck, someone's livelihood going up in smoke. That ain't cool.
Exactly. It affects everyone.
And a veteran trucker put it pretty well. Back in the day, you had beef, you settled it with words, not fire. This is just clown behavior.
Yeah.
What's the strategic lesson here for all of us?
I think the core insight from something this ugly is the critical importance of collective vigilance and, frankly, mutual respect within the industry. You can't stop every bad actor, obviously.
Right.
But these incidents hammer home the need for secure parking options, for being aware of your surroundings, reporting suspicious activity. It's a harsh reminder that one person's incredibly reckless, destructive act can literally fuel higher costs and damage trust for absolutely everyone on the road.
Well said. Okay, on a much more positive note, let's talk about some good news on the financial protection side. Zurich North America, the insurance company, actually boosted benefit limits for their occupational accident insurance for independent contractors.
Yes, that's right. It's definitely a welcome development.
So first, what exactly is occupational accident insurance, and what do these increased limits actually mean for a driver's wallet or safety net?
Okay, so occupational accident insurance, or OSI, as it's often called, it's a specific type of policy designed for independent contractors like many owner-operators who usually don't get traditional workers' compensation benefits through the companies they haul for.
Right, because they're contractors, not employees.
Exactly. So if you get hurt while working on the job, this insurance provides payouts. It can cover medical bills, lost income if you can't work, disability benefits, even death benefits in the worst case. The increased limits simply mean higher potential payouts in all those categories. It offers a stronger financial safety net if an accident unfortunately takes you off the road.
That sounds really good, genuinely helpful. But, we truckers can be a skeptical bunch sometimes. What's the catch? Why are they doing this now? Is it just good PR, or is there a solid business reason behind Zurich boosting these benefits?
It's always smart to ask, why now? And you're right, while it's definitely good for drivers, it's also likely good business, not just goodwill, for Zurich.
Okay.
Think about it. The trucking industry is incredibly competitive when it comes to attracting and retaining good, skilled drivers and owner-operators. Plus, there's a growing awareness, maybe fueled by rising liability lawsuits, of the need for solid protection among independent contractors.
Right.
So, by offering better, more attractive benefits, Zurich makes their policies more appealing to owner-operators. And the fleets that offer access to these enhanced Zurich plans can use it as a powerful recruiting and retention tool. Come drive with us. We offer access to great OC insurance.
So it helps the fleets attract drivers, too.
Precisely. It's kind of a win-win, largely driven by the competitive market dynamics for drivers right now.
Makes sense. And the reactions seem to reflect that mix. You have a grateful trucker saying, about time. I feel better knowing my family won't be screwed if I get hurt. That's great.
Absolutely. Peace of mind.
But then you've got this skeptical old guard thinking, insurance always finds a way to charge more later. What's the premium now? Fair question.
Always a fair question with insurance.
And the fleet owner sees it pragmatically. Better benefits help me attract quality contractors. It's another recruiting tool. So what's the key takeaway here about this kind of specialized insurance for today's driver?
The critical insight is that proactive financial protection is absolutely non-negotiable if you're running as an independent trucker. Aki-Ike insurance isn't just some optional perk, it's a fundamental piece of building a resilient business and, more importantly, safeguarding your family's future. Understanding your options, making sure you have adequate coverage, it's just as vital as maintaining your rig properly.
Absolutely. These last two stories really drive it home, don't they? From something as disturbing as arson to a positive change like better insurance benefits, they both underscore how external threats and industry responses directly impact your financial safety, your security, your peace of mind on the job. Really crucial things to keep tabs on.
Definitely affects your day-to-day reality.
So we've covered a lot of ground today, taking a real deep dive into this truly complex and constantly changing world of trucking. We hit major policy shifts like rail mergers, potential taxes, the rapid tech advancements for safety and cybersecurity, and even these very real-world threats and essential safety nets like insurance.
Yeah, quite a mix.
And every single story, no matter how different it seemed on the surface, really emphasizes this undeniable need for awareness, for preparedness. You just can't afford to tune it out.
And that brings us right back to a core message, I think. Your life on the road, it's so much more than just logging miles, isn't it? It's really about securing your future, often navigating forces you can't directly control,
True.
which raises, I think, a really important question for everyone listening. How are you managing your time for yourself, not just for the demands of the road or the shipper?
Good question. What do you mean?
I mean, using that off-duty time, that downtime, wisely. Is it just recovery, or is some of it invested in, say, learning new skills, maybe exploring a side hustle, thinking about building alternative income streams, because that kind of personal investment can be your most powerful shield against the inevitable ups and downs of freight rates, fuel costs, the whole economy.
That's a really powerful point. Being well-informed, being proactive like we've talked about, it isn't just a good idea, it's genuinely how you stay in the driver's seat of your own career, your own life.
Exactly.
And understanding those multiple viewpoints, like Hervey from Life as a Trucker, always pushes for seeing the issue from the fleet side, the shipper's side, the other driver's side, your side that's key to making the smartest decisions for yourself. These challenges we discussed, they aren't just roadblocks. They really can be opportunities for empowerment, for shaping your future instead of just reacting to whatever comes next. We want you to feel respected, supported out there, and knowledge truly is power.
Couldn't agree more. The road ahead, it's guaranteed to have new turns, new challenges. That's the nature of trucking. But with the right information, keeping a critical eye on what's happening around you, and maybe building a diverse skill set that goes beyond just driving, you can navigate those turns not just to survive, but to actually thrive, to build a career, and ultimately retire on your own terms.
That's the goal. All right, if you want to stay ahead of all these changes we talked about, market shifts, new tech, safety insights, you should definitely head over to lifeistrucker.com. They offer great, no-nonsense breakdowns.
Good resource.
And if you're serious about building that financial shield, learning new skills, maybe even creating online income streams so you can retire on your terms, check out retirefromtrucking.com. You can grab a free guide and some training there, even on using AI tools, because the future is definitely getting smarter.
And so are you.
Exactly. So are you.